Hello, 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 hello. My name is NicholassRivas. I talk about politics and stuff. And today we're going to be talking about the woman who was arrested, put in the back of a cop car, and a train came and hit the cop car, almost killing the woman, leaving her pretty beat up. Thankfully, and what I'm reading is that she was harmed, of course, but not to the point of life-threatening injuries. That could have changed while I was recording this, but haven't seen anything that indicated that she is going to have permanent injuries. So horrible, horrible incident. The police should be touted for their idiocracy, like they're stupid for what they did. And it's like a clear cut case. Like I don't see anybody saying, hey, this woman, even though she was doing some reckless things. I believe before they arrested her, the reason they arrested her because she was fleeing from police. She was being a little bit of a crazy, pullover, right? And I don't see anybody defending that either. Like I don't see anybody saying like, well, she she was deserving of this, right? Like I didn't see anybody put anything down that she needs to have this have occurred for her, because she is definitely in the right. No matter what crime she possessed, like don't leave someone on the train tracks to die. And I don't think the police did. I think it was just straight incompetency. The issue and the reason that I wanted to even talk about this was because since this have occurred, I've seen nothing but people supporting her. It was a clear-cut situation. So what made this situation different than others? Because there seem to be clear-cut situations where police have just done something stupid, and I've seen people defend them. And even right now, I'm not seeing people defend them, but I'm not seeing the same people who were defending police, saying, they have it so hard, bringing this up, saying as like, hey, look, this is one of those instances where they just fucked up, and they're in the wrong. And I don't expect them to talk about every situation ever when somebody fucks up, but it's a bit ridiculous to see all of this inconsistency. We know it was a dumb situation. We know so-and-so messed up. I would like some validation that we're all consistent. We all have principles. Look, you don't do this. You don't leave someone on the train tracks when you arrest them, right? That's where my anger is, and that's even why I want to make the video, because the video is clear cut. They goofed up. There's nothing more to say. The issue, though, again, is this. I don't see anybody coming out and knocking that side that I've watched religiously who have always defended that side. There are people who I respect who could easily say, look, man, police get a lot of shit, but this situation, they deserve it. Again, I haven't seen the masses, like the regular folks, talking about this angrily. Like nobody is here defending them, But I just think that kind of like we're just going to be quiet on it. Like the silence of the situation is stupid too. Maybe because there is no like more to say. I mean, they done goofed. But I think it's hard to call out police when we don't just call them out when they need to be called out. And the police officers in this scenario, they got in trouble by, I think, a paid suspension last I read. Like very small, like this is a murder charge. This person could have died, and I'm not seeing any accountability go that far. I'm not seeing anything reach like a murder of sorts, right? And it makes us feel crazy, because I think people who do respect police but also are consistent, like myself, I like to think of myself as someone who, I'm fair. I don't think police should get all the hate in the world. I don't believe in a world that we should not have any police, even though our police system and judicial system can be racist and has roots for racism. I do like the world that we have fostered, where we have a police that we can call when there's, countries that don't have that. They're like, oh, you call the police, like fuck that, we handle shit here. And like, I don't want a Wild West situation. I want a society that's safe and perfect for my children, my family, my loved ones. So I think police do enforce a sort of cleaner society. Now, do they pick it up and prevent crime? It's kind of hard to definitively say they are crime preventers when the police come after the fact of crimes, just how it naturally is with crime. But when we think of crime prevention, we should also be investing in certain communities, and that's the critique that I think many kind of get blurred with when they're critiquing police, is they're making critiques of the police and rightly they are deserving of it, I think it does get muddied, and we should be talking about the preventative, better education, better health care, access to education, access to healthcare, inflation of wages needs to be capped, rent control. These policies that turn people into thieving and petty crime that could possibly lead to crazy crime. Talks of a reform, right? So police deserve the hate when given, but they're not the reason why crime is so high. They're also not the reason why crime is so low. And so I think if you handle it with a fair criticism, we could be okay. The thing is with situations like this is it takes a situation like this. It takes cops being stupid to basically get some sort of like, oh, we're all on board with this one. Like this is a pitiful thing that we've just witnessed. It's sad to even think that it had to get this far. It's a disgusting mindset to even have that, like, this is where people are like, together on. Like, it took this egregious of a situation. So that's what boggles my mind. That's what hurts my soul, is that we're even debating it took us this instance to get here. In the world of police and how police govern, it's just disappointing. And I think the second half, and another reason why I wanted to make this video, was because police are not punished. I remember that video of the policewoman who's saying, like, I can go 90, you can't, I can find a reason to pull you over. She was just get off with like a 3-month suspension. The police who get into these like terrible situations where it involves a police department having to do an investigation on themselves are usually let off very easy. It's rare to see a police officer get punishment, fair punishment. It's not that I want to see all police officers punished. I don't see a fair punishment. I don't see a punishment at all. I see a 3-month paid vacation. And that's where this stands out. The story really hits because these people didn't get anything. And there's possibly going to be some sort of intervention because of the media backlash. As of September 25th, the police officers just made a statement saying that it was a high-risk traffic stop. They done goofed. It was, we weren't thinking. It's like they're still defending them. And it's like, God, this is the most egregious situation. They're idiots. They should be in trouble. And the agency basically said that they're just, being they're getting investigated, I think, by some outside agency, but I think it's still part of the state. So even then, it's hard to pin down. Ultimately, like, the police haven't really gotten much punishment, and we'll see a punishment. But it took, when George Floyd's killer was prosecuted, it took that whole, I don't think this is going to go through. You had a lot of people feeling that these guys could get away, and you had people defending them even up until the every video came out. But we live in a world where people like Kyle Rittenhouse are obviously in the wrong morally, but legally they have this kind of nuancy where people are unsure. And I think that's what helps muddy the water of sorts, is people don't really know the difference between the legality and the right and wrong of our world. And that's fine. I don't expect it. I mean, we're not all supposed to be lawyers. But it is crazy to look at the police and just kind of take their word on these items. Like, I think we're very much, we believe police officers have a high regard and respect amongst our communities. So I think we let too much slide with them. And there should be outside agencies, vetting these people. This is not a let's defund police. This is a restructuring of police. And I think that's where the whole ACAB and more radically left people come in and say, hey, I don't agree with just reforming. I want a complete, shutdown and change. But even though I'm sympathetic to those causes, I think there's fair criticism on both ends to say that police departments do need a reform, but I also believe that they do need better structuring when it comes to funding. So I'm not saying throw more funding, but I think maybe better structuring. But even see, like, that is like controversial to say because we've been so numb to seeing police officers get a fair critique because they usually get none. So I think that's the whole premise, is like the idea that this whole debacle is not even debacle. I mean, they're the masses believe that these guys are in the wrong because it's clear and cut. And I feel like when situations are clear and cut, we even then have to like hold our breath a little because they're still getting like internally investigated. And I feel like nothing is going to happen. Again, possibly anything could happen at this point with how the masses came. But if the masses never came and really called out the ludicrousy of the situation, then I don't think anything would have happened. And that's such a disappointing like fact that we're just kind of just used to, you know. But it's I wouldn't even just call it the fault of the police officers themselves. I think it's the media and how we let them get this far with us, you know. But you know, I think we're about to die here anyway, so it's probably a good time to wrap it up. So thank you so much, and yabba dabba doo.